Good morning. Welcome to the CBS AM debrief. I'm David Combe. It's Thursday, the 13th of January, just coming up towards 9 a.m. here in the Sydney office. And overnight market action, all very, very positive. Some more data from the Fed, something called the Beige Book, suggesting labour markets are continuing to firm up there, and that saw the major US indices all run up quite nicely. There's also some interesting data on some of the other combined indices. The MSCI World Index hit a fresh record high, highest level in about 2 years, and the S&P GSCI Index of commodities moved up 1%. As crude traded near $92 a barrel, and also cattle climbed to a new record. So some of this commodity pricing does tend to be a bit contradictory to perhaps some of this optimism we're seeing here in the markets, and suggests that maybe the optimism is getting a little bit ahead of itself. But it's certainly confounding that theory there. So let's have a look at those exact numbers here. With the Dow up 83 points at 0.772, the S&P 500 up 0.90, and Nasdaq up 0.75%. Toronto a little bit more subdued, up 0.44, and Mexico down 0.16, and Brazil up strongest of all, 1.72. Over to Europe, FTSE up 0.16, CAC up 2.15, DAX up 1.83, and absolutely spectacular. Not every day you see an index, index move up 5.42% for Madrid, so I'm sure they'll be cheering on that one. Stockholm, the only disappointer, down just 0.02%, and Switzerland up 1.21%. Move on to have a look at what the futures rather is suggesting in our region, with the Nikkei up 40 points, Hang Seng up 446, which is again is a pretty big number there. And our response here a little bit more subdued to all this good news overseas, up 26 to 4,740. Of course, we do have good reason to be taking a somewhat subdued and less enthusiastic approach here, given what's happening up in Queensland. Okay, so we'll move on here to have a look at the commodities, and that's the index that I mentioned a second ago, the S&P GSCI, up there at 636, and that gives you some idea when we look at this this chart here from June and July, and just where it's up in relative percentage terms, and does give pause for thought in terms of just how some of these commodity costs are going to translate into economic growth here. So natural gas up 0.6%, crude up 0.66, up to $91.71, and then we've got a standout here with soybeans up 4.27%, corn up 3.95, so all of these food costs are getting pushed up here. Oats, similar picture, 3.27, and soybean meal, 5.13. Even wool up quite a big number here, 2.56 to $10.82 per kilo. Then to our metals, copper at $4.42 up 1.69. Gold at $13.87.5, up $3.20, and silver $29.69, up 0.191. As I mentioned earlier, cattle had a pretty big run up, now $1.10 per pound, or 1.82%. And our currency pairs saw pretty much the US dollar get sold off here, and euro buying 1.3137, pound buying 1.5769, and the US dollar buying 82.9605 yen, and the Aussie putting on about 0.8% here to now be back up near parity at 99.60. US dollar is buying 98.61 Canadian and 9.9663 Swiss francs. We'll move over to the economic calendar here and see what we've got here for Thursday the 13th. So should have had some US monthly budget statements numbers out here, but they don't seem to have had a print. But moving on to some New Zealand performance of manufacturing, some Japanese machine orders at around 10:50 our time. And of course at 11:30 we have employment numbers. Expectation is for about 25,000 new jobs, previous was 54. And the unemployment rate is expected to drop down to 5.1% from 5.2%. And then later on this evening we've got quite a lot of data out of the UK on industrial production, manufacturing production, and their Bank of England rates decision, which is expected to keep that at 0.5%. And then of course going into tomorrow, the major data we're going to be looking for is the retail and CPI data out of the United States. If we see some good pickup there, that would be very supportive. And if we, conversely, of course, see some disappointing numbers there, then that might be reason to taking this more cautious approach with regards to perhaps the optimism of getting ahead of itself. Then that caution will probably pay off. Okay, let's take a quick look at the Falcon Trader before we wrap up. I think yesterday I was talking about the Aussie dollar getting very close to having a day where it closed below this interim upper trend line, and it looks like it's been just saved there by a whisker, and therefore this trading range or this trend up may indeed continue to hold. I know we also talked about Medusa mining yesterday. That I think I talked about it breaking out above this $7 level right there, and otherwise we had the makings of the triple top. And boy, it certainly did explode out of blocks there, and I think got up to about $7.30 at one stage. So quite a good move if you're at least able to get on that on open, which would have been around $7.12 or something by the looks of things. Just having a look here and seeing what else we can look at. Let's just have a quick look at that chart for Madrid. Okay, there we have it there. That's that 5% move, and that momentum indicator now is pretty much looking like a moonshot. And then just to finish off here, just take a quick look at the US dollar index. And we can see that big move down there. So perhaps we'll stay in this trading range here between about 82 and 78 for now. Okay, well, as always, thanks for your attention. Have a great day. Happy trading, and we'll speak again tomorrow. Bye for now.